Okay, so let's talk a little bit about
that one.
That's pretty good. Let's talk a little bit about kind of problem solving. So you say like when they could go for a bigger swing, what would you say is your biggest tendency?
What do you mean, as far as the ball?
Well, no, more kind of what you feel. Well, what the ball does.
My biggest tendency is I of course, get my hips out of the way, and I'm going forward, and I don't really spin here. I spin more over here. So I'm always ahead of this way. Of course, the ball is always going to go right, or I'm going to have a little draw on it or something like that.
Good. So in context to that, let's kind of use the pro as our problem solver. So show me what it's like to swing the pro with that kind of more overly driven body motion. And we'll wrap. We can a lot of things happen. Keep going.
Okay.
I'm just going to identify things because I think it can help people so much. Yeah, but you can feel like the sound is over here.
Yeah,
if we slow that down, I mean the thing is bent 90 degrees over here.
Okay.
So as you're coming around, go ahead and hold it.
Yeah.
As you're coming around the top, it's bent like this because there's all this force in trying to like make it happen. And so when we get ahead of ourselves, that happens. Okay, so even if you're just a little bit ahead with your golf swing and your energy and your intention getting to the target or to the ball, we lose sense of the swing. So our consciousness actually has to be behind us or where this is starting, because that's the only way to get it to swing. So when we kind of work backwards, once you kind of work back to your swinging motion here with just one hand, get that thing going. Yeah, you got to go all the way right back. There you go. There you are. Get your rhythm going there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get focused on getting that thing straight. There. So your attention now had to go where?
Right back here with trying to get that ball.
I gotta feel this area of the golf swing. So that's where all the magic happens. And so we can't swing effectively on the bottom and really get a lot of speed unless we have the sense of stretching the club. So when I go to the golf ball, this is always going to be the challenge. As I get better at swinging it, that's one thing. When I have the ball, now I've added a couple extra layers of attention from my brain. One of them is where the ball is going to go, okay? And the other one is whether I'm going to hit the ball. Now the good news is that your brain, if you let it just relax, it's not going to miss because you've been playing too long. That goes away pretty quickly. And it's actually trying to help you go to the target, okay? So we can kind of leave that stuff alone, and we can start working more on what it feels like to come around the bend.
Okay.
The more your brain senses where the golf club's delivery is, the more naturally it's going to let things happen. If you are worried about that, you're going to get ahead of the moment, and then we already can see that distorts the swing, and then everything else is compensation.
Right.
And that's when we're starting to put force on the golf club that leads to topping, shanks, slices, hooks. It can be anything. It depends on the player. But the root cause is that I didn't let it swing around my wrists, and I didn't have the patience to get it stretched at the top of the swing.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So let's use our pro a couple more times and let's get that in sync again. There we go. That's awesome. Good.
Yeah.
Again, love that you go one-handed first. I think it's a lot easier for a lot of us righties to kind of feel that. It frees up the body a little bit. But then if you can grab that with two hands, let's see if you can kind of find the synchronization. Awesome. There you go. So we're going to get really focused on getting that thing straight.
That's
so this is the fun thing, is like, don't worry about how you're doing it, just do it.
Yeah.
And keep playing around until you get better at doing it. When you're new, I remember when you first started swinging the pro, this was a pain in the butt. It was really difficult to do, but now you've kind of gained the skill. We still make mistake, but you recognize the mistake and you're able to kind of find the movement. So that tells us that your brain is learning a new swing pattern. That's awesome. Good.
Yeah.
Good, there you go.
So I'm here to write.
That's right, because we're getting it stretched. So if it's under stretch here, then it can swing, and the swing can run on the ball. Our body's job is to produce energy that helps that. That is never jumping ahead. Okay.
Never jumping ahead.
Never jumping ahead. Now let's do some practice swings with our focus being on stretching the club. And if you do that, go ahead and I'd rather you kind of do it with a little bit more rhythm. But if you go ahead and do that, we should start to feel the club almost feels like it speeds up here, not over there. Okay. So see if you can kind of stretch the club and let it go. Yeah, and let it pull you through. You can put a little bit more speed into it.
Oh, okay.
Now when you rushed a little bit, feel how it's a little bit chaotic.
Okay.
So stretch the club first. Yeah, and then let it carry you. There you go.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And this is tricky because it's really challenging when we get a little bit deeper into the swing. We want to kind of get to impact really fast. I don't need to get to impact fast. I need to feel like I create a constant stretch.
Right.
So you notice when you swing your pro, there's a rhythm that I have to go at. That rhythm is the same with the golf club.
Right now I'm thinking that I have the pro here. So I'm really thinking about stretching it here. And then
That's right. And imagine you have to keep it under stretch all the way through. The more it stretches, as you come around the bend, it'll naturally want to swing and speed up for you.
So stretch and
awesome.
Okay, so yeah, right in here is where it's actually the club head is actually taking.
Yeah, and you're going to feel again that thing swing around your wrist. But you got to get, if you don't get it in what we call that getting it in a sling. So as I come off the top, if I don't get it in a sling and create the force that stretches this back. And again, I'm responsible for creating two forces. This is the challenge in golf. You can't think about it, you have to feel it. I've got to create a force of motion and a force that also stretches this back, just like a playground swing functions, okay? I can't swing unless two things are happening. I have a force suspending it, working one way, and then I have a force pulling away, going the other way. That's what gives it tension and gives it motion. If I don't have that tension, I don't have anything. That's when we don't feel that tension. That's when our brain scrambles and tries to push the golf club like a lever, and then it's not working very properly, okay?
Yeah, well, when I look at it, I'm actually imagining swinging the pro right now. So
that's great. Yep, I love it. And in all fairness, I mean, some of these look a little awkward, but what you're trying to do through there is so much better. So many players are afraid to go that way, but your golf swing goes around your body. It doesn't go to the ball straight. Okay, so it's not this like linear, really vertical motion that we tend to make.
That's the problem I have coming too steep.
That's right. And when our attention goes to worrying about the ball or the target, we lose connection with our swing. Tour pros stay with their golf swing all the way through. They know it's going to run into the ball. They've practiced so much to get that golf club to stay under load and under tension, so it swings very, very naturally and with a lot of speed at the bottom. Okay. Awesome. All right, let's try a few with the golf ball.
You know, I can really feel it coming out, yeah.
Yeah, now here's always our challenge. Go slow enough and see if you can make that more important than actually hitting the ball, okay? Can I really feel the stretch of the club? You don't have to watch it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't have to watch it. Good, there you go. Looks good, Steve.
Yeah.
Swing looks balanced, looks free. All right, a different one there, right? Okay, good. Yeah. What did you feel in that one? We had a fat shot.
Yeah. Well, anytime you have a fat shot, it means your hips are out or your body lower half is going.
At least for you, for certain. Yeah. And then what's the reaction? The reaction is to push the golf club. I push the golf club, it hits the ground early. So the problem was, again, though, in the essence, I didn't stretch the club from the top, did I?
And I was trying to, but
that's right. So then this is important because the difference between experiencing it and trying are different, aren't they?
Right.
So this is why a lot of people think lessons and practice and training devices don't work in general, is because we don't make this connection between paying attention and actually, and doing it. So my attention is my most vital aspect to hitting a good golf shot. And so if I think about it, I might not be experiencing it. And that's why I need to go back to my pro and it's like, okay, what's the experience? Oh yeah, it feels like this. I see this picture when I do this well. It isn't telling yourself how to do it. That's a surefire way to make a mistake.
Yeah, well, I wasn't picturing the
Good,
the
so
pro
let's try one more.
I should be picturing the pro doing that.
Yeah, so let's just kind of walk back through it, swing it a couple times, find your picture.
Okay. I want to make sure I find that
Yeah,
picture
however you
there.
find that picture. I don't care how you do it. Just there you go. You got nice stretch. I can feel the swinging energy, very good. The importance of doing it with two hands, of course, though, is to simulate the activity as most accurately as possible. There, good. Now see if, once you stretch it, see if you can just kind of ride with it all the way through. Beautiful, let it pull you through. And our ultimate destiny, again, is we can keep this thing straight, literally for the whole thing. That time, your attention went down and it bent. Good, kind of find it. Baseball planes are good too. There, good. Stretch that pro. Not so much on that one. Better.
So when I'm getting toward the ball area.
That's right. It's funny. As soon as you react to the ball, this is important. I mean, people need to know this. Is that as soon as we pull up feel a golf club and we have an intent to hit, it changes us. And that's what needs to change.
So we can't allow that to happen.
That's right. That's what needs to change to get better. Is I got to recognize, wow, I'm like a different person when I'm trying to hit this golf ball. I need to be the guy that's connected to his swing as deeply and as fully and for the entire motion. That's what allows me to be really solid.
So when I do the lower swing, these swings, my body is not always it's engaged, but it's not engaged like a full swing. So it's easier to actually.
You're more confident with it too. So that's part of that. Just I practice that more. But yeah, it's the same dynamic. Your pitch swing is incredible. It has great stretch, it has easy release. So we just want to, can we work that to the back, to the top of the swing?
Without having to, yeah.
And you'll get there, you know? So let's try a couple bigger ones. But again, same thing, take a practice swing. Feel the stretch of the golf club.
Okay. There's the stretch.
Good. I like practice swings too to be a little bit more complete. Okay. So it's more of an action as opposed to I'm just trying to do one thing.
Okay. Nope, that's not it.
Good. Yeah, and so this is what you have to do. It's just that trial and error, just like you were doing with the pro. It's like, okay, no, it's bending. That's not it. That's it. Same thing. I can actually feel that stretch force. When it's right, you know it. I mean, it's like, okay, that's easy. That's in sync. It has speed. Now I want to see if I can stay with it and just run it into the ball.
Nope.
Actually, it wasn't too bad.
Oh, really? It didn't feel right, though.
As golf improvement goes, our skill is better when our mistakes are better. So if that was your mistake, I think you're going to be able to live with it because it still went to your target and it was still a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Try to keep your keep your attention on the motion of the club with your eyes, even when you practice swing. There. Stay with it. Feel it stay in front of your chest all the way through. There you go. Awesome. That's going to help the most because that's where we're losing connection.
I was trying to do two things at one time
okay.
here. So let me just. Seemed a little bit.
So go
I think I've gotten too much.
Yeah, got a little too much going on. Go a little bit smaller. Better. And in all fairness, that swing's pretty deep.
Oh, it is?
It's bigger than you think, and you could actually create more stretch in that space of time and make the club go faster. It isn't always necessarily I got to go bigger and bigger. You have more range of motion you could get to, that's great, but you could go the same distance and you could rotate faster with the same synchronization and it would go faster. You can see that with the pro too. I can swing it faster and still keep the components in line. That's actually what we're looking for. So that might be one of the ways you go for a little bit more power in your swing. Isn't necessarily to go for super depth in the swing, but actually to actually just feel a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Feel a little bit more energy to the rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. All right, anyways, again, when we get lost, we really want to make sure that we're always redirecting our attention to the critical moment in the swing, which is stretching the golf club so it can swing, as opposed to, how do I move this? Oh, I moved too much hips or I did too much. Don't judge the body motion so much. Stay with staying present to the actual physics and the feel of the motion. Then you're going to do much better.
Yeah.
All right, good work today.
Oh, great work.